So we're talking to the speakers of Arctic 15 First Stockholm edition. And my first guest for today's class, Mikko. Thank you very much for having time for this interview. Please tell our listeners like a very short intro about yourself before we go any further.
Great. So Claes, Mikko, Nilsen, based in Helsinki, but Finnish Norwegian, so this kind of a Nordic profile, I would say. Currently working for Nordic Ninja, so work as the investment director and managing more or less the deal flow and any kind of activity related to PR and so on. Previously been actively involved with the angel community in the Nordics. So I've been running and building the Finnish Business Angel Network, so one of the largest angel networks in the world. So know quite well the early stage investment scene in the Nordics, and now happy to learn and educate and link the Nordic startup and scale up ecosystem with the larger A-round investments with the Japanese twist of Nordic Ninja.
All right, and for our listeners, I'd like to remind that you can listen to the interview with Fiban, current head ML Gailey, in one of the last episodes of the last year. Back to Arctic 15. I know that you'll be on stage today, so what will be your role there?
Yeah, so I have the pleasure of hosting the mobility track as Arctic 15. It's the first time it's held here in Stockholm. We who've had the luxury of being in Finland, we've been attending that event several times, so-called the little brother of Slush. So it's the main purpose of Arctic 15, of course, is to have a very effective meetings between the startups and investors. So deal matching platform is the most valuable part. But just to entertain, give some updates. So yes, the different tracks as they are now available here at Arctic 15. So mobility track. So that's something I'm really excited about as very close to our heart from the investment team of Nordic Ninja as well.
As a person close to the investment circles, let's call it this way, how do you usually choose a startup to invest to? What's your opinion about how investors usually choose a startup?
Well, as highlighted on many of the talks here as well. So, venture investments, it's all about trust. It's super simple. Depending on how much you do your due diligence and analyze it, still how you trust that person and team.
So you basically mean, I trust you, here's my money.
Well, it has to be so. It's a risk investment business, and it's super simple in the sense anybody can be an investor. It's just how you formalize the investment. But if you have money in your bank account, even cash, you can give it to somebody, and hopefully you'll get that back in somehow with some kind of a profit. So that's technically investment, but making it as a profession, and especially on the venture capital level where you invest on behalf of other people's money. So it's all about trust. So you have to have the trust from those who trust you with their investment sum, and then of course those magic makers, those entrepreneurs that actually build their dreams and realize some of those visions in some reality and make the world a bit better place. So then, of course, that makes venture investment the most exciting part. Not just the profits, but, of course, solving some crucial problems.
So now we can only wish all the startups who are here today to meet their dream investor and that make their dream come true. Do you think that the other investors and speakers of the panel that you will be facilitating today will agree with you? What is happening there on stage?
I'm 100% fully. It's everybody here it's all about the trust level. But then again, as knowing the investment stages, so this angel level, those individuals who make the first bet, more or less. So of course they rely on to simplify it's two things. They put their money on the team and the scalability potential. So it's purely about the team, and as typically on the startup level, there is nothing to show actually. So there's just maybe even just an idea. On the VC level, on a more like a venture, especially like ourselves, we do the Series A level, so around $1 million plus on the Nordic twist. So of course, there the two main focuses is also the scalability, but even a bit more from the team. We assume the team is okay, but it's more about the financials. So scalability and financials and how those correlate. So we had the luxury on the venture VC level. We get to look at the early work that the angel level, the early those active entrepreneurs have already been able to build, but to be able to scale it up, as that's our focus aim. So that's more or less to put the money on the financials. So what we're going to see here at Arctic 15, of course, it's a lot about the meetings happening here is just to get that first trust, that next meeting potential. It's a fast speed of 15-20 minute setup. So just getting that first interest to continue the discussions.
Is it your first Arctic 15, or have you been to it before in Helsinki version?
Oh yeah, I've been at Arctic 15 since, I think the first one was around 2010-ish. So 2011, I didn't attend the first one, so the second one. So there's been plenty, and definitely this, I said, those in Helsinki, we have Slush, and that's a massive inspirational event. Arctic 15, that's considered as the purely professional event for the heavy deal matchmaking. It's always worked very well. It had very just simple things making matchmaking very valuable. And what makes it interesting, being around in Scandinavia and especially in Stockholm, the startup events, they haven't had this level of matchmaking system. It's very, because Sweden is more clustered, it's more specific, super exciting, more segmented area. So that's why Arctic 15 has been more cross-level actor on uniting the whole community. So this is why it's super exciting to see how Arctic 15 is working to benefit the Stockholm Swedish-related companies to match with investors as well. So I think everybody is super excited to get the feedback how it actually works and is it beneficial or not. But so far the early morning activity seems very, very promising.
All right, so let's see where the Arctic 15 Stockholm edition will have to unite the separated and fragmented ecosystem of Sweden. Let's wish them good luck with that. And I'm happy that your morning was promising. I guess I'm out of questions for now. Thank you very much for the interview and hope you have a great day today. And of course, good luck with your stage time.
Thank you very much. I would like to precise not fragment, but segmented. It's more specific in that sense. So of course, Stockholm is the leading star of the Nordic ecosystem. The world looks at the startup ecosystem. Of course, they look at the Nordics, not so much of just Helsinki, not just Tampere, but it's the Nordics. So that's my message also to those listeners that please use the Nordic brand. It's very much of united. The whole culture is very similar in all the Nordic countries, but then again, as a brand, it gives a much more interest level, especially working with the Japanese. There is a Nordic interest. So flying into the Nordics, maybe Helsinki, then dropping by all the main cities. So please use the big family element. So good to meet most of those here at Arctic 15 as well.
Right. Thank you. And we continue in Arctic 15 day. It's still day one, and it's speaker two, so to say. It's quite a vivid event. Lots of people both from Finland and Sweden here. So our next guest is Pontus. Pontus, would you please introduce yourself to our listeners?
All right, my name is Pontus Stråhlman. I'm a partner at Voima Ventures. I'm an enthusiastic entrepreneur and I'm a father of two boys. I spend a lot of evenings and weekends off the football field or hockey rink, dreaming about fantastic ventures and cheering my boys to victory.
Do you also do the same stuff with the startups you invest in?
I definitely do. I always want to sort of dream the big picture with the entrepreneurs. However, the difference is, of course, that with the entrepreneurs, it's their dream and their vision that I try to support. And an investor can't sort of build great companies, but we can support great entrepreneurs to build great companies.
Have you had many meetings at Arctic 15 Stockholm already? Do you feel that there are some startups that you would like to support in the future?
I haven't actually, to be honest, yet had the time to look at startups that much. We do a lot of presentations on our portfolio, so we try and help our current investments to find better or investors with even deeper pockets. So these kind of events are very useful for us, but we mostly work with our current portfolio companies here.
All right, and you're one of the speakers of Arctic 15 Stockholm. So could you please elaborate what your stage time will be about?
I will be moderating the AI and data track. And of course, I mean, AI and data, they are important elements of deep tech, which Voima Venture is a deep tech investor, and AI then, of course, one important part of that one. So I will be hopefully guiding through the audience what the newest, latest trends within artificial intelligence and data is all about.
Why this track? Is it some kind of a path that Voima Ventures is mostly interested now investing in AI? Is it your personal interest, or is it was just team of Arctic called you and say like, hello Pontus, could you please, take care of this track? We need someone smart enough to understand what those tech guys are talking about, those IT people?
I think it's a little of everything, but it's certainly a personal interest of mine to really try and figure out the possibilities that we have within venture if we utilize artificial intelligence. And I think that there are a lot of excellent startups that have found some kind of proprietary data or even open source data that they've been able to utilize in a very effective and intuitive way and just completely disrupting old services, for instance. So it's a personal interest of mine, and then they just needed someone and asked me.
Of course, I wish you all the luck with your track. Have you been to Arctic 15 events before in Helsinki?
Sure, I've been, I think, I haven't counted, but I really love all the Arctic 15 events. I think that they are very effective, and you meet all the right people. So I've definitely enjoyed them, and will certainly be in the following events as well.
All right, so hopefully Arctic 15 team is listening to this podcast as well. So here's Pontus. He would like to join to the next events. Maybe you can give him some discounted tickets for the next one for a bit of promotion of you, and to me as well, because I'm doing the same stuff probably. Yeah. Speaking of Arctic, do you notice any differences between the classical version in Helsinki and this spin-off in Stockholm?
Well, it's of course early days, so I don't know. I certainly hope that there are differences because we'd really love to meet new people as well. And I think that the team, at least for me, the beginning has been good because I've really met new people and not just the usual suspects, which we could meet back in Helsinki. So I definitely see the value in coming to Stockholm and meeting new people.
Do you generally see much difference between Finnish and Swedish startup ecosystem? Or is it more like we're all Nordic, we're all the same?
Well, I think we have our strengths and Sweden has their strengths. And sometimes even to a stereotypical degree, I think that we are really good in Finland at building different technological solutions, whereas they might be better here to commercializing those solutions.
So they're good at bragging, let's be honest.
Yeah, they're good at bragging, but it's not only about bragging, it's more that they are comfortable in being open about what they are, who they are, what they are making, and then feeling that sense of pride in what they do. And we definitely need to learn from the Swedes. And in all honesty, I think that in many ways we have fantastic founders from all over the Nordic and Baltic regions these days, with these fantastic entrepreneurs who you can, put on a plane and fly to the valley, and they will be just as good as anyone.
Speaking of flying somewhere, what are the next events we can meet you in?
We have this Deep Tech Day coming up next week, which we are organizing together with Lifeline Ventures and Wave Ventures. So if you have a science team that is planning on a spin-off, do look me up on LinkedIn and ask to join, because we are trying to build this event where we could gather everyone who's interested in founding a science-based startup in Finland and making a joint gathering so that we could start really strengthening and building an ecosystem around these science-based startups. This event will be in the capital region. We will also in the future organize them in other parts of the country. But yeah, I mean, if you want to meet me and you have a science-based startup, look me up somewhere, ping me, and we'll get in touch.
All right. Do you also plan to dedicate some time to meeting some startups and schedule some meeting off stage, or are you mostly like hanging around